Allow me to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers on the internet and around the world. It is sunrise on YouTube, morning on Facebook, noon on Twitter, midday on Threads, afternoon on Twitch, sunset on Instagram, and evening on Rumble. I am your host, the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, and the master of the deceptive arts. We are broadcasting live directly from the sanctum of solitude and the citadel at the end of time. Good evening, everyone. I'm the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, the master of the deceptive arts, and I return to you once more as the tumultuous voice of the vasectomites, and I'm proud to be here once again representing the vasectomites. Before we continue, and while we're discussing the vasectomites, take my advice, do the smart thing, go and freeze your sperm, and then get a vasectomy. I just don't want to get distracted by the rest of this video and just end up not saying what is the message of this platform, and that is for you to realize that your best move, if you're going to be in the romance wars or in this relationship, is to keep the end in mind. Think about where you're going and where you want to end up. Do you want to end up in child support court, or do you want to end up on an exotic island, relaxing, enjoying your life, living the vasectomy life? Go freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. But today, other than freezing your sperm and getting a vasectomy, I wanted to talk about a personality trait that is encouraged in almost every person that I've ever met, even some successful people. And it's in almost everyone, right? So not only is it encouraged, it pretty much exists in every person that I've ever met and ever known. Not only that, every person that they've known and ever met has had the same characteristic, the same personality traits. And if you brought this up and you asked them about it, they would deny it, right? And they would deny it not just from the fact that you mentioned this about them, that you were accusing them about it. In fact, mentioning it is kind of like being accusatory in their eyes. I'm talking about living vicariously through other people, especially at least trying to live vicariously through celebrities and those types, celebrities, athletes, superstars, entertainers, and above all, political and world leaders. Humanity loves to be associated with with political leaders, with world leaders. They like to think that their vote actually matters in the bigger scheme of things, and their political view, based on what somebody that they've never actually met told them, is how they live their lives and how they even identify themselves, right? Through the lives and the actions of the people that they support, to the point where should somebody start to act differently or behave differently, they would immediately disassociate with that person, and that person would forever lose their support, right? And people love to live vicariously through others, especially those that are seemingly, or that they deem or perceive to be rich, or at least more richer than them, more powerful than them, in terms of status, political power, business power, that kind of thing, financial power, or more influential, right? They 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 believe that through supporting this individual, that individual, by living their lives, right, their own lives, is simultaneously furthering your ends just because you support that person. Doesn't that just sound like madness? Doesn't that just sound like madness, right? Um, it's always an association with somebody that is either more powerful or perceived to be more powerful, or at least somebody that has a more powerful message. Something similar to, oh, I don't know, freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. But what is actually to live vicariously through people? It is to try. I'm adding the word try. To try to experience something indirectly by living through another person's experiences, actions, or feelings, rather than experiencing those actions and feelings for yourself, right? Rather than having those actions and then experiencing those feelings in the first hand, what you then do is you live out those experiences through how you would see the other person living, and you put yourself there, and you imagine yourself experiencing that life as your own. Isn't that just the depth of madness? It's like seeing someone living the life that you want to live, and imagining being that person and living that life as that person, being where they are and doing what they are doing. But in reality, you're not. In reality, you're probably sitting on your couch eating something unhealthy with like loaded calories, right? Instead of being in the gym like your favorite athlete, or killing it on stage like your favorite performer, you're sitting on the couch pretending to be that performer, pretending to be that athlete. It's quite troubling. What it is mostly, it's about feelings. It's about the emotions, the emotional association. Because in truth, you don't want to have to do what that person does. You don't want to put in the work. You don't want to spend the money. You don't want to take the risk that that person has taken, right? So you imagine what it would be like to put in that money. You imagine what it would be like to live that life. You imagine it would be like to take that risk. But you experience the fullness of those emotions, right, to the point where it rages you out, but only because you are in the safety of the comfort of your own home. You know very well that you don't have what it takes to be at that level, right? So you pretend. And it's really about feeling, right? Imagining the feeling. So it's not just that you have the feeling. First, you imagine something that is completely not real. And then you associate a feeling to that situation that's not real. And then allow yourself to get upset by a situation that is not real, and you imagined that you were in while you were somewhere else doing something completely different. And in fact, you were observing that person doing something completely different to what you were doing. They could be in a completely different country on the other side of the world. And there you are pretending to be in Qatar, acting like you know what the weather in Qatar is like when all you did was look at it on TV. It's really troubling and quite pathetic if I have to be honest, right? It's you just trying to feel how you would feel if you were in the life that you were not in. Right? Just think about that. But the life that you believe or perceive for those people to have isn't real in themselves. Right? So now you're lying to yourself about a lie that you told yourself, about a lie that you saw somebody else lie to somebody else about. And now you're getting emotional and upset over just an onion of lies, just layers and layers and layers and layers of life. And until ultimately, I think what happens is you get upset that you're living this delusion. Living vicariously is the ultimate delusion, but it's more than that. It's complete submission. It is completely yielding to a higher, superior, and more powerful force. It's a surrender. It's a complete surrender. But this surrender is not of your own making. So while you were weak in your surrender, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. This surrender is actually socially engineered by everyone. Everyone that had a hand or an influence or even played a small part in raising you also turned you into a coward, a delusional coward at that. As men, especially, we are taught to have what they call positive role models, right? People that we can look up to, heroes that we can aspire to be like, a standard, if you will, that somebody else has set for you and and has decided that this is how you should measure your own success, whether you have the capacity of achieving more or not, right? Some some people even recommend, believe it or not, that over and above having a role model, that you need to go and get yourself a mentor. Somebody to hold your hand through life, somebody to guide you through living your own life, somebody to who, if willing, will show you the way and or pave the way for you to walk towards your desires, your success, and your goals. And of course, that is completely delusional. That is completely insane. And to me, it's quite frustrating and upsetting because I'm one of those people who was raised like this. I was raised to look up to other people, especially other men. And so were you, right? And it's a problem. And it's a problem, and I'll explain to you why, right? And but on the topic of social conditioning, right? Social engineering. What's worse than merely telling you that you need to find someone to look up to is that they give you what seems like a choice, right? They give you a choice, but they make it feel like it's your idea. So on the one hand, you feel like you have a choice, right? And on the other hand, they make it feel like the choice is your idea, right? And they do this by posing the question of choice, or by posing the question as a choice, right? Instead of giving you like two or three choices to say you have A, B, or C to choose from, what they do is they give you an open ended question. And then that gives you unlimited range, right? And that makes you feel like you are in control, like you are the decider. You feel kind of like the counterpart, right? Where there are all these successful people, athletes, entertainers, superstars, millionaires, billionaires, business people, academics, professionals, doctors, lawyers, and you believe that you have a range of all these people, and you get to choose which one is your favorite one. You get to choose which one you get to give your support to. Just think about that. Isn't that just like the counterpart where she thinks she has all these men to choose from? And the one that she chooses, she's going to give that person her support. And of course, she believes her support is priceless. And so do you. You delusionally believe that by supporting somebody who's already rich, who's already famous, who's already accomplished, that your support makes a difference. And they let you believe that. They tell you that because what they don't want to do is they don't want to insult the people that they actually want the support to from, rather. So, I'm going to tell you right now, your support doesn't mean anything to these people. They already got their money with or without your support. Your support doesn't mean anything to the celebrity himself. Your support probably matters more to the people who hire the celebrity and sell the merchandise, right? But back to the question of choice. What they ask you is they ask you, who is your favorite fill in the blank. So, who is your favorite actor? Who is your favorite singer, athlete, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster, your favorite influencer? Then it goes further. They'll ask you, what's your favorite brand? What's your favorite device? What's your favorite show? Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite villain? And what you'll find is that everyone has one or the other. You have a favorite hero, a favorite superhero, a favorite villain, right? A villain who you always want to see go up against your favorite superhero. Some people have a villain that they actually agree with, right? And so they may see a part of themselves, associate a part of themselves with that villain's intentions and that outcome. And it's very easy to do because you're watching like the same movie over and over and over again, especially on these devices. You're listening to the same music over and over and over again. You're watching the same person perform every weekend, and when you're not watching them on the weekend, you're watching the highlights, and when you're not watching the game highlights, you're watching this person's individual highlights. So what they do is, and what you do is, you give yourself even more reason to want to support that person. And people will encourage you to do so by giving you the option of choice, or at least the perception of choice. And it's from a long list, and quite frankly, that list never ends. And then there you go, picking and choosing who you admire, who you like, who you care about the most. And just like that, you form a preference, right? Just by identifying someone, you create a preference. A preference which then forms a connection, a deeper connection, which then creates what some might see as a bond. And everyone has a favorite movie, favorite song, favorite team, favorite player, a person of some type, of some variety, whose measured accomplishments, I beg your pardon, are admirable to you, right? For this fictitious, unreal, delusional bond is extreme, right? This this bond that you have created that doesn't exist, it has gone too far, right? And for some people, it can go beyond the limits of an overactive imagination. It can become illegal. You can become a stalker, you can become obsessive, you can trespass onto people's training grounds, onto what do they call this, production sets, at their work, all kinds of things. And in some extreme cases, it can become violent in a sense where you induce that person either through trespassing, stalking, harassment, assault. You induce them to be violent, and then you also get violent. And now it doesn't matter who did what. All we know is that there was violence. The violence can be, it can be rare, but but very rarely still, or more rare still, is the violence against the person that the delusional individual admires, right? Usually, as a person who's living vicariously through someone, you are not going to go want to hurt that person because you live your life through their eyes, right? You are probably going to assault or hurt someone that, quite frankly, is either against the delusion, someone who questions your delusion, or even worse, a person that prefers the rival. So if you like player X, right, and then player Y comes along, and you don't like player Y and somebody else likes player Y, you will be against that person for no other reason. I mean, you guys could share everything else in common except the fact that he supports a different player for different reasons. And there you are, mortal enemies for life. And it's just that simple for people. I like this, you like something else, and there we are, enemies. And then violence, right? And part of the reason why you're not violent against the person you admire is, other than living your life through that person, the truth is you just want to be their friend. You don't want to actually live their life. You just want to be part of it. You want a taste of it. You want the good parts without any of the negativity. So you want to be known to be famous, but you also want to be able to go around wherever you want to go around. You don't want to have to hire extra security and those kinds of things. And this is troubling, right? So on the one hand, you want to pretend to live that life, but it's very clear that you don't want to do what it takes, right? You don't want to do what it takes, you know, for many reasons, for many reasons. But but instead of love and admiration, right? This can turn into hate. Instead of these delusions manifesting themselves, is the word I'm looking for, into actual love and admiration, these things turn into hate. But the level of emotion and passion, right, is is the same as is the depth of the belief in the very delusion that that person has. So the more delusional they are, the more passionate they are. And wittingly or unwittingly, I too was conditioned into this false philosophy, into this useless practice and belief. Until I was faced with a hard, shocking, shattering, cold truth. And I'm going to give you this truth right now. You see, the truth is that the people you look up to, your heroes, the ones that you admire, your role models, your mentors, your influences, the people who helped you through the hard times with a positive message. You know, the influencers who helped you through your breakup, through your divorce, who held your hands, right? The people who entertained you with that song that motivated every day to push on, to hustle harder, to make that extra effort, right? The people to whom you cheer for every time you score a goal, and you support, and you got their posters and you wear their t-shirts and so forth. These people these people are not to be admired. They are not your friends. They don't care about you, and they're not here for your support. The athletes, the celebrities, the singers, the superstars, the performers, these people that you adore, they are not your friends. They are your competition. They are your counterparts. They are your enemies. They are the people to whom you should be working extra hard to try to overcome and defeat. These people who you're trying to live your life through and via, the influences that you say helped you and saved your life and built you up. These are not your friends. These people are your competition. And if they thought they could be making money by telling you something different about yourself, they would. It's just a business. And I'm telling you the truth. You gotta stop taking your girl to these NBA games where these guys are gonna steal your girl. You gotta stop taking them to these Hollywood parties where these guys are gonna steal your girl. You gotta stop taking your girl to I don't care where you take them, man. To the nightclubs where people are gonna steal your girl, to restaurants where people just stop taking her places where you are not seen in a positive light, where you're gonna see somebody that she admires, that you admire, that you both admire, that you should not be admiring at all. And you need to be serious about this. You cannot look at these people as your friends, as your mentors, as your heroes, because they are not, and you know that I'm right. And instead of putting on a real competition against people that you should be competing against, you should be competing against those people, not these losers down here. You should be competing with the best of the best, right? And instead of competing with them, we are wrongly advised by weak minded, cowardice, fragile ego, incompetent guardians, and so called social leaders, the parents that raised you, who were cowards, instead of telling you to go out there and take that person out and put yourself there and make sure you never leave. What they did was they told you to worship that person. Your parents, your leaders, your teachers, all the people that themselves could not accomplish anything convinced you to not accomplish anything. And they did that by contrasting you with somebody else. And they told you that person, you need to look up to them instead of telling you what I'm telling you now. That person, you got to take them out. I'm not saying elimination, I'm saying remove them and put yourself in the top spot. This includes influencers who you think helped you. You got a channel, your priority should be to put your channel at number one. I don't care who inspired you or under what circumstances they helped you through your life. They are not your friends, they are your competition. If you watch somebody's show and you enjoy it and you think, man, the ancient one is talented, The Ancient One is not your friend. He's your competition. I'm telling you the truth. These people are not your friend, and I am not your friend. We have never even met. I could walk right past you right now. You'd never know who the hell I was. But for some reason, because I can talk for 30 minutes straight, you believe that I'm trustworthy. You believe that I'm worth admiring. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know, and we are not friends. We are competitors. When I see you and I think of you and I think of your channel and your platform, I want to instinctively, sorry, that sort of ran away from me. I want to instinctively compare your philosophy with my own. And it's not because I admire your philosophy, it's because I want to crush it. Because I want everybody to know that free sperm, get a vasectomy is the only philosophy to discuss. And unless you have a better philosophy, I don't want to hear nothing from you. Why would I? Why wouldn't I want to listen to somebody that I'm better than? I got a better message and a better way to deliver it without embarrassing myself or insulting other people, calling women out of their names, or encouraging men to commit crimes, or belittling themselves and acting like fools, or upholding a standard that quite frankly means nothing. Money, muscles, mental health, upholding alpha masculinity, being a player, pay for play nonsense. And I'm supposed to admire these people? People who could go on the internet and risk 30 years of prison just to look good to a gang of losers? I mean, let's be honest. If you people got hours and hours and hours all day to sit and watch another person talk, I mean, how are you winning? And then you go out there and argue and fight your life over what this person said. And as soon as they shut down the microphone or shut down the stream or shut down their platform or their video, they go on and live their lives and never think about you. And you're there fighting wars on their behalf. Just how weak minded and incompetent is that? And then you get your parents raising you to live like this. Just think about that. Their parents telling their kids to look up to someone. Their whole life telling you, look up to this person, look up to this person, look up. Your entire life, you've taught to believe in everyone except yourself. And when you do decide to believe in yourself, you get criticized for it. And then you allow those people to keep criticizing you. It's just a terrible, vicious cycle. And we're all in it, right? And the people you live vicariously through, I promise you, they will happily have you in that submissive position for the rest of your life. The last thing they need is some young, hungry, talented, eager person with nothing to lose, challenging them for everything that they've earned and everything that they're trying to keep. Because they know they're going to lose. The last thing a veteran rapper or entertainer wants is some young, hungry kid with talent and skills. The last thing a veteran actor wants is a young, new, fresh face, handsome face, strong body, still fit, can work 12 hours without a break. They don't need those problems. They don't want you coming here competing, raising the bar in a way that they cannot achieve. The best thing for them to do is to convince you that they are larger than life and that you cannot achieve what they did. When in fact, it's just as simple as going on the internet, finding which company signed them, and sending an application. In 15 years, you will be where they are in 15 years. It's really not that difficult or complicated. But what we have is we have an entire generation of people forcing you to worship other people who get stomach aches and headaches, who get muscle cramps, who get annoying and irritated, just as we do, just as we do, you know? And why would they do that? Why would they encourage you to come up against them and compete with them? For what benefit? What benefit is it to them to have you competing against them, to have you questioning them, to have you stepping up against them? What? They have none. The best thing they can do is what I said about these knee benders. You gotta just make them bend the knee. Because when they're not bending the knee, they're tearing things up. And if you deny that these people are your competitors, let me pose this very simple question for you. If you don't think that your hero is your competitor, your favorite rapper, your favorite actor, your favorite businessman, whatever is your favorite, what if your favorite athlete had an affair with your wife? Would they still be your favorite athlete? Would you even watch them playing every weekend? Would you even watch the sport? I'm guaranteeing you that if you found out that your favorite athlete, the one that you support, whose jersey you bought, whose sneakers you bought, the guy whose every album you buy, whose every movie you watch, twice before you buy the DVD or whatever, or before you go stream it a few more times or download it. That guy, what if you find out he's in your girl's DMs? And all the while you're supporting him, your girl is supporting him too. But you just don't know it. And he's sending her money, promising to fly her out, and he's not flying her out. Instead, she's just getting angry at you. You're fighting your girl, wondering, hey, who's this guy? Who's this guy that keeps texting my girl? All the while cheering for him. All the while he's scoring dunks, he's scoring goals, and you're cheering, kissing your girl, holding her. My favorite football player won the league. We won the champions. Yeah, and he's gonna celebrate that championship victory with your girl. Is he still your favorite player? You still wanna go watch those movies? You gonna buy that new album? When that rapper is talking about all the women that he goes through and dates and discards and doesn't care about and sends them back to her man, that's you, my friend. You're the man. You're the man. You just don't see it that way. You see, I could not tolerate this nonsense from these people. Better me be the one trying to steal your girl than you trying to steal my girl. Just think about that. All the while you're supporting this guy, decades of your life. Just decades spending money, arguing with people, fighting with people. Your girl's trying to tell you, man, you need to stop caring about this guy so much. And you're like, I'll never stop listening to my boy, this rapper, that rapper. Everything he talks about, he's talking about my life. Yeah, he is. Literally talking about your life. That last album that you love so much, he literally wrote that talking about you. And you bought it and you know every word. Now imagine that. Imagine that. All the while, years and years and years, and your girlfriend sitting right there. Would that guy still be your hero, or would he be your competitor? Would he be your enemy? Would you want to go out and get that right and balance those scales and sort all this out once and for all? Yes, you would. The last thing you would do is buy his new album, watch his new movie, buy that new shirt or those sneakers, or buy that front row tickets to the game. No, 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 no. You're in it now and you're a competitor. And you'd be a competitor. And just think about that while we read through today's article. Just think about the fact that as you are cheering that guy or watching those highlights, right? And your girl says, oh, you look so happy, babe. She's happy too. Because he texted her right after the game. right? While you were saying, yeah, let's all go out and celebrate. We did it. We won. He's making plans with your girl. Now, as we read this article, keep this in mind that your favorite athlete, your favorite superstar, your favorite rapper, your favorite actor could be in your girl's DMs right now. And you're acting like a complete fool supporting these people, living your life through them, saying what you would do if you were in such and such a boxer's shoes. That boxer's in your shoes. He's more than in your shoes. He's in your wife. Just think about that. So here's today's article: 7 traits of people who are obsessed with celebrities, says psych expert, and they're gonna demonstrate a few characteristics of obsession with celebrities, and you'll see very clearly that one of those is living vicariously through other people. This was written by Tyra Whitmore on the 9th of November 2025. I completely forgot to put the link in there, and I realized that because I'm looking at the link right now directly at the website. It is geediting.com. G is spelled G editing, editing.com. And of course, it's the traits, 7 traits of people who are obsessed with celebrities, says a psych expert. I'm so sorry for forgetting the link. I feel really bad about that. I try to be really particular about these details. This type of oversight really is gonna eat me up. And in truth, the whole day I've just been feeling like I'm forgetting something. And I haven't forgotten anything. I've had all my equipment, all my tools, everything that I needed to be successful. The whole day went by pretty smoothly. And all day long, I've just had this nagging feeling that I'm going to forget something. I'm going to forget something. And then right at the end of the day, there it is. I forgot something. So that's geediting, .com. And that's what I forgot. Anyway, let's continue. It says, ever wondered why some people seem completely captivated by celebrities? Yes and no, but yes. Hanging on to every update, every post, and every rumor. Sure, I can see that. While most of us have favorite actors, musicians, or athletes we admire, there we go. There's that list I told you about. There are those who take this admiration to another level. They aren't just fans. They are invested in every detail of their favorite star's life, almost as if they personally know them. Some of you actually do. Some of your favorite celebrities have had conversations about you while pillow talking with your girl, and all the while you're like, where is she? The game's about to start. Ah, she's at the stadium with her man. That's where she is, and you just don't know it. You gotta stop supporting celebrities, man. I'm really the anti celebrity. I'm really the. What I hate, honestly, is encountering somebody that I'm richer than, more educated than, I'm more traveled than, and I feel better than, I'm healthier than, I'm fitter than, and I get overlooked over this person. And I get it, right? You're in a particular industry, it's part of the gig, it is what it is. And if we're talking about your profession, that's okay. It's when you start believing the delusional that you're an actually better person than me, that is where we have a problem, because now you're activating and insulting my narcissism. And I'm a true narcissist. I don't care who you are, honestly speaking. If I have not seen the balance of your savings in your bank account, man, I'll just be polite to be polite. And I'll be polite to people as if you're a stranger. But what I hate more than anything is when somebody who has not proven according to my standards, and my standards are very simple. Show me the balance on your bank account. You got more money than me, I'll listen to you. right? You got more money than me, I'll listen to you because I've spent years just working on my savings, right? You got more money than me, I'll listen to you. But what I will not do is let another person, I don't care who you are, amuse yourself at my expense, right? And it's problematic because I'm the type of like detailed oriented person who will find a way back. Whatever line that was crossed, I will find a way to make you uncross that line. I absolutely do. I'm not one to suffer fools regardless of what industry or profession you're in, especially since the only thing we know of your finances is nothing but rumors. you know yeah, rumors don't pay the bills, man. What drives this intense fascination? It's a very good question. According to psychology, there are certain personality traits and psychological patterns, I beg your pardon, that explain why some people become truly obsessed with celebrities. Let's dive into 7 of these traits to understand what might be happening behind this level of devotion. I like the word devotion, you know, to give yourself entirely over to a belief or a practice. It's a very interesting word. Number one, living vicariously through celebrities. This is what we're talking about. One of the most common traits of people who are obsessed with celebrities is their tendency to live vicariously through their favorite stars. They may find themselves constantly immersed in every detail of the star's life, from their flawless Instagram feed to their glamorous red carpet looks. This vicarious living is not just about admiration or fangirling. Fangirling. That's what I'm gonna call you, knee benders, you fangirls. It often goes beyond that. These individuals might blur the lines between their own lives and those of their chosen celebrities. They use the stars' lives as a benchmark for success or happiness. Success, perhaps, right? Somebody scored a million goals, has a million dunks, million points. That is admirable, right? That is admirable. Happiness, no, 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 no. You cannot use another person as a measure of your happiness, right? I'm very happy to compete with professional skills and professional standards. I really am. I would happily take your basketball skills and compare them with my degree, right? Especially after 35. So, like, at 35, you have a 30-year career until retirement. I have a 30-year career until retirement. I know how to read and write and count. You know how to dribble balls. I accept that challenge. Really, I am happy to accept that challenge. A guy who can only dunk and shoot hoops against a degree, I'll take that. I'll take that challenge. Sure, no problem. I'll take that challenge every year, whether I win or lose. Do you know what I mean? I'll take it in my 20s, I'll take it in my 30s, I'll take it in my 40s, just so I can watch you suffer in your 60s. And then I'll be like, I told you. Really, I don't mind. I have the patience. It's not like I'm going anywhere. This is what people don't understand about holding a grudge. Like, tell you to let go of a grudge. For what? It's not like I'm going anyway. Why would I want to let go of my grudge? Why would I want to let go of my grudge? I got 30, 40, 50 years of this grudge. I'm 30 years old, you're 30 years old. We have a 35 years to go before retirement. Why let go of a grudge now? Why let go of a grudge now? You know? Possibly due to dissatisfaction with their own lives or a need for escapism. You know what? I just picked that up right in the middle. I'm going to redo that from the beginning. They use their stars' lives as a benchmark for success or happiness, possibly due to dissatisfaction with their own lives or a need for escapism. There, I told you. Losers. Losers. So you're not happy with your own life, with your own goals. You've been trained to not go after your own goals, but rather spend all day long admiring the goals of others. Just think about that. You've been trained and conditioned to never go after your own goals by people who never went after their own goals. Rather to sit there and observe others achieve their goals only for you to not only admire their goals to then live vicariously through delusions about their goals. Now you're going to pretend that you're the one that won the World Cup, that you have a Super Bowl ring, or what you would do if you won a Super Bowl ring. You're never going to win a Super Bowl ring, man. What are you talking about? Now you want to talk about, well, if I won a Super Bowl ring, I would do this. Give me a break. Give me a break. 45-year-old man, 50-year-old pundit talking about what he would do if he won a Super Bowl ring against a 19-year-old boy. Give me a break. You should be owning the team. And you know I'm right. Tara Whitmore. Tara Whitmore continues to say, this obsession with celebrities can sometimes lead to unrealistic expectations. Sometimes. Unrealistic expectations and comparison, she says sometimes, which can be emotionally draining and damaging in the long run, not just to you, but to everyone that has to listen to you talk about who you have in your DMs. The key here is balance. There's nothing wrong with admiring or getting inspired by a celebrity. You see the thing right there. Then she goes in and repeats the same thing that I identified as a problem. You're constantly conditioned to admire these people instead of just taking them out. You want to be the celebrity, get them off the set and put yourself on the set. You want to be a singer, a rapper, get that person off the stage, get on there and sing. That's how it works. Shows have that they have limited slots. They cannot put every star on there during the peak hours. So you want to be there at that peak hour, you got to be there at that peak hour. It's just that simple. These people are not your friends, man. They are your competition. They set a standard for you to come and topple. That's all. That's really all it is. Right? But you're going to spend your time admiring someone that who you should be competing. It's one thing to compete and lose, right? And walk away. It's another to bend the knee, to surrender, to bow down without even trying. And I'm not even talking about military force. I'm talking about the expression of talent. Put your talent out there, put your philosophy out there, and let's compete. I would happily take my vasectomy and compete it against your money, your philosophy, your history, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience. And I'll say my vasectomy easily trumps all that. Very, very easily. But no, instead of getting to business, instead of putting out these videos, instead of crushing these fake philosophies, what are you doing? The philosophers, the fake philosophers, the wannabe players, all these people. Instead of just coming in there and throwing the free sperm, get a vasectomy philosophy on their head and crushing them, what do? You go and admire them. You go like their videos, right? You there sending fire emojis, smiley face emojis, huh? Because he's saying, oh, they're on fire, they're killing it. No, he's putting you on fire and he's killing you. Think about it. You could be out there with your own fan base and your own philosophy, But now you're sitting there with your girl, listening to the Ancient One read an article that you could just as easily have read for yourself. You could just as easily have read this article for yourself, but you didn't. You're letting me do it for you. Now you're living vicariously through a faceless man. This is cowardice. This is cowardice. You don't want to live through your own life, you live through celebrities. And now you're living through a faceless man on the internet. Come on, man, live your life. Live your life, right? And if it helps you, you gotta see all these celebrities as competition, as enemies to be destroyed. That's how you need to see them, because you're always going to walk into a room and fear inferiority. You're going to fear your own inferiority while that guy comes in there and is ready to amuse himself at your expense, and you cannot allow that. Not for a single second. You cannot see another person as better than you, especially if all they have that's different from you is a job. What you need to do is you need to get that job and remove that person. If their celebrity is what gives them power over you, you need to be more celebrated than they are. If putting out video content every week, 3, 4, 5 times a week, 6 times, 7 times a week is what makes them feel powerful, you gotta put out a video, 2 videos, 3 videos every day and dwarf them. These people are not your friends. They are your competition. Destroy them. Destroy them. Mercy is for the weak. And you heard that from me. Mercy is for a weak. There is absolutely everything wrong with admiring a celebrity or a world leader or anyone other than yourself. Can you just be a narcissist for once in your life? Can you just be a narcissist for once in your life? Look at everybody on earth, from Julius Caesar to whoever the leader is in the world right now, to Genghis Khan, and just be like, you know what? Not today. Not today. Today, I am supreme. I am the ancient one. Not ancient two, not ancient two, ancient one. I am the one who remains. I am the bottom line and the standard bearer. Can you just do that? Can you just be a narcissist for once in your life? Do something meaningful, man. Stop celebrating losers. Next thing you know, you're going to be hero worshipping children. Talking about, oh, that child's got such a lovely singing voice. Give me a break. Give me a break. Let's continue this. She says, but it becomes problematic. It becomes problematic when someone starts living in an alternate reality, neglecting their own life. Imagine neglecting my life. Me? Neglecting my life? To imagine that I'm living yours? I could never. I could never. What kind of narcissist are you anyway? What kind of narcissist does this? Lives their life vicariously through other people. Go out into the world and take your own selfies, man. Love yourself. Didn't your parents teach you to love yourself? Well, no, your parents taught you to admire celebrities because they admired celebrities. Just generations of loss. Let's continue. Neglecting their own life and potential in the process. Powerful words in the end. Not only are you neglecting your own life, you're neglecting your own potential. You don't believe in yourself. You people will believe in everything. You know, a higher power, the universe, the sun, the moon, celebrities, everything except yourself. It's very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Over on the second slide, number 2 is feeling a personal connection. Yes, this is ridiculous when you start to feel a personal connection with people that you don't know. So much so that you even start arguing and fighting over these people. One might assume that people obsessed with celebrities would understand the one sided nature of their relationship. Surprisingly, that's not always the case. Yes. Isn't it weird how you expect a celebrity to know you just because you feel like you know them when you actually don't know them and they don't know you? Many people who obsess over celebrities often feel a deep personal connection with them. That's ridiculous. This doesn't mean they believe they are personal friends with the star. Instead, it's more about identifying with the celebrity on an emotional level. I told you about these feelings. Really, what you want is you just want to be admired by the person that you admire equally. Like you want to feel like you matter to that person, right? So in a way, you know that you don't matter to them at all. But so then you say, well, I can relate. I mean, my question is how do you relate to somebody who's made hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, who's got fans all over the world, who's traveled everywhere? How do you come to the point where you say, I know how this person feels? They've got private jets, Lamborghinis, all kinds of things, and you're saying, well, I see eye to eye with this person. How do you justify that? How do you justify those feelings? This is delusions, man. I know myself, and I said, I'm competitive, right? I will see somebody as a success and say, you know what, I would happily compete with that. Or what, you have 250 subscribers, I would like to compete with that. What I'm not going to do is say, well, 250 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers. I could not do that. You mean what? Read an article in front of a microphone? Review a video? A child can do this, man. A child can do this. What I'm happy to do is accept the challenge. I'm here to compete, right? I'm here to compete. So a lot of people really will hide behind that emotional connection, right? And say, well, I have an emotional connection with this person, so I'm not going to compete. Yeah, you're not getting that from me. You're not getting that from me. I hope those 250, quarter million, half a million, 1 million subscribers, I hope that helps you sleep at night. And I hope your subscribers never hear me say freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. I hope your subscribers never hear me put a vasectomy up against $1 billion and say, well, you can get $1 billion and lose it all in alimony, child support, and divorce. And you wouldn't be the first person to do so. But you'll never lose your vasectomy in a divorce. So beat that. Just think about that. She continues to say it doesn't mean they believe they are personal friends with the star. I think I read that. Instead, it's more about identifying with the celebrity on an emotional level. They might resonate strongly with the star's journey, their struggles, and their personal values. What? You resonate you resonate strongly with the star's journey, struggles, and personal values? This man is 6'7" and could dunk when he was 12 years old. How? How does that resonate with you? There's a person who's a professional athlete. 10 years old, he could run 100 meters in 11 seconds flat. You, at 12 years old, ran 100 meters in 45 seconds. How do you relate to this person? How do you say, you know what, I resonate with your struggles and your journey? Man, you know, I'm not blaming the celebrities here. I'm blaming you people. I'm grateful for the celebrities for providing a meaningful target. We'll be targeting you. Thank you very much for that, as well as your numbers and your records. We will tear those down along with your legacy. Thank you for giving us something to aim at, right? Thank you for giving us something to aim at. But for you to say that you connect with this person and their personal struggles on a deeper level, isn't that just troubling to you? Just feeling that, doesn't that just like bother you? Say, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling like this? I am. I really think something is wrong, right? Um, this emotional bond can be so intense that they feel as if they know the celebrity personally. They may even feel empathy or sadness when the celebrity experiences hardship or failure. I've seen people cry because they thought something had happened to a celebrity. Like when a celebrity dies, millions of people in tears. You don't even know that guy. And by the way, that guy that you're crying for, he would never shed a tear for you because he's competitive and he just knows one less problem for me to deal with. But there you are in tears. Man, this is a riveting article. I'm glad I selected it. I almost didn't, by the way. I almost didn't. The challenge here lies in ensuring this connection doesn't cross into unhealthy obsession or become a replacement for real life relationships. I think it's too late for all that. I think by this point, when you start feeling a personal connection to a person that you've never met or never will meet and share nothing in common with, I think we have crossed into unhealthy obsession, right? I think we have really, really gone into that dimension. Number three is seeking a sense of belonging. People obsessed with celebrities and sports teams often find themselves being part of a fan community of groups. Yes, there's always like so many people who share that obsession, and then you people share a connection over the obsession that you share. It's always so fascinating for me where people who support like a club or a person or a celebrity and they assess something in completely different ways. So like your team is losing and some people blame, the defense, some people blame the offense, some people blame the technical staff, the coaches and the kind of thing. But all three of you are literally saying, yeah, we're on the same side, but none of you see this the thing the same way. Think of like two people who support this a celebrity. When something happens to that celebrity, there's always one who'll say, well, this is a good thing because now they don't have to do this and that. And another person will say, oh, it's a bad thing because they missed this and this an opportunity. But here you are, fans, I'm thinking that you share the same obsession. How? How are you just disagreeing about everything and yet you believe you are the same? Just pure delusion. People who are obsessed with celebrities are delusional. If somebody has a favorite celebrity, you need to know that there's something wrong going on here. You need to understand that there's something completely wrong going on here. These communities, and now it's a community, so it's not just you by yourself, it's a whole community. These communities offer them a sense of belonging and connectedness, something that humans are wired to seek. Some humans are wired to seek, not all of us. Others, quite frankly, are troubled and repelled by these type of connections. These fan groups often have their own culture, language, and rituals. Yes, that's true. And standards of faith. So if you turn around from the group, it's like a cult. You turn around from the group, you're seen as a non believer. And when you do leave, you actually miss it. I find that people who leave these types of groups, they always come back because they miss their community, they miss their obsession. So you leave the group because you know there's something is wrong, but you're still obsessed with what they were obsessed with, right? You just didn't like finding out that other people have the same obsession that you do. So you want your obsession all to yourself, right? Um, from fan theories and shared memes to collective actions like voting for their celebrity in competitions or organizing charity events in their name, really? This is extreme. I didn't know it goes that far, right? I would have never considered doing any of these things for these people. I mean, why not raise money for yourself? right? And now you're creating additional art on their behalf. Fascinating stuff. Being an active partner of such a group can give someone a sense of purpose, identity, and camaraderie. However, while these virtual communities can provide a sense of belonging, are not a substitute for real world relationships and interactions. I think they are. I think you're better off staying here in this community where you share this obsession and your obsession doesn't spread than trying to go out into the world and share your obsession, and the world is going to reject you. People with obsessions are really the most normal people you'll ever meet because they know that there's something wrong with their obsession. So they won't demonstrate it outright. What they'll do is they'll just appear to be perfectly normal. And then when you find out what they're into, right, they don't want you to find out. Because on the one hand, it might not be that bad. You might just be a fan of something, right? So you might just be doing something that's not cool to other people, but it's perfectly fine. But otherwise, it might be extreme and obsessive. And also, you might not want to be seen as like a fangirl. You're a real fan of somebody, but you don't want to come out as like a fangirl. So you act cool about it. But deep down inside, you want to know everything, right? You want to know everything. I think it's better for you to just stay in that community. There are so called red pill men who really are all about that red pill life. And you try, and I'm like in the same boat. I'm all about that bachelor life. I'm better off staying here in the bachelor life, to be honest with you, than taking my delusions out into the bender world where the benders are just gonna reject me and become frustrated by my point of view that they will never share and have no interest in sharing. So leaving these communities and going out to try and live a normal life might just be as bad. You're probably just better off staying where you understand what's going on, right? And you're interested. I'm not saying it's healthy or it's right, but at least you understand, right? Rather than going out into the world and talking to people who don't understand you, right? It's important to maintain a balanced perspective and ensure that our social needs are met in the context of diverse relationships, not just within the confines of a singular fan community. Number four, using celebrities as a coping mechanism. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It's escapism that which they mentioned. Your life is not satisfactory to you. And the fact that you were taught to worship celebrities is an indication to me that you wanted more for yourself. And had you been trained and taught to be more competitive, you may have achieved that goal. The fact that you see yourself there is an indication that there's a desire to pursue something, right? But it can also be an indication of failure. Being obsessed with somebody is always better than wallowing in the misery of your own failures, right? So, for some people, also some individuals, the obsession with celebrities can also serve as a coping mechanism during difficult times. In life, we all face challenges and struggles. This is true. During these moments, being engrossed in a celebrity's life can offer a temporary escape from reality. Escapism. It's like reading a book or watching a movie. You get to momentarily live in another world, forgetting about your worries and problems. This can be comforting and reassuring in its own way. Really, I don't find that to be true for myself. I find that when I have a problem, I rather just deal with the problem. When I have something to pay, I rather just pay. Because otherwise, it's there in the back of my mind, just nagging. A task undone, a result not accomplished. There's a result that I did not accomplish. and I'm sleeping in the middle of the night and I'm up at 3 o'clock typing out a report that I should have done before I left. Right, it was 4:30. I knocked off at 4 o'clock, but I knew I should have done this report, and I would have been out the door by 5. But I thought, I'll just do it later. And now it's 3 in the morning and I can't sleep. And it's not because I want to do the work. Obviously, I didn't, but because I'm a task and a results based person. And I'm not getting the results, I'm not getting the outcome. How can I sleep? How can I sleep? How can you be a results based person without getting results and sleep like a baby? No, 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 no. Let's get the results and then we'll go back to sleep, right? Because otherwise, you're not going to get a good sleep anyway, right? So, I think I lost my place. I think I lost my place. Yes, we're talking about celebrities as a coping mechanism. And I know exactly where I am. You know what? I'm just going to pick up right from if you or someone you know uses celebrity fixation as a coping mechanism, just know that we all have different ways of dealing with stress and it's okay to seek comfort where we can find it. However, it's not okay to seek comfort wherever you can find it. You need to find comfort where there is comfort. However, it's also essential to consider healthier long-term coping strategies, such as talking to someone you trust or seeking professional help. Isn't that the same thing as joining one of these groups? Because what you're going to do is try to seek somebody who understands, and all you're going to do is join somebody who is in one of these online groups, these communities, and then start a new community. Now you have a community of people who don't want to be in the community. Isn't that just ironic? But that's always happens with coping people. You know, it's the same people with like AA and that kind of thing, right? It's all the people who are obsessed with this particular problem who come to be obsessed with this particular problem. Then it's all the people who are obsessed with healing from that particular problem who come to be with other people who are obsessed with healing from that particular problem. So what you do is you find people with a problem to come together to sit all day and talk about that problem with the intention of healing that problem. Do you see the problem? You spend all day with the problem, claiming to heal the problem, just to come back all day and spend all day with the problem. And you'll spend the day with other people who also want to spend all day with the problem. This is a problem. This is a very big problem. Number 5 is finding inspiration in celebrities. This is what we've all been taught. You know, find a celebrity, let them inspire you, look up to them, blah, blah, blah. It's a mistake. It's a terrible mistake. All you're going to find is some guy who's trying to hook up with your girl, right? And he's trying to try and do it on the cheap, too. Let's be honest, we've all looked up to someone at some point in our lives, or at least were trained to do so. It could be a parent, a teacher, a friend, or even a celebrity. Yes. You see how I told you how this list keeps growing and growing. Now you can look up to friends, you can look up to teachers, you can look up to parents, you can look up to relatives, you can look up to, celebrities. You just be a fan of anyone you want to be a fan of. There are some people who are just built to be followers. They are just built to be fans, man. And this celebrity obsession is just what they need. Just be a follower and follow. Just be a follower and follow. Don't try to lead. Don't try to uphold standards. It's not who you are. It's really not who you are. Right? We'll come and we'll tell you what to do when it's time to tell you. Like freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. Right? Freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. People obsessed with celebrities often find inspiration in their idols' lives. Yes, and it's true. They admire their talent, yes, success, the things that they have, material possessions, their resilience, or even their sense of style. There you go, their clothes, their handbags, where they socialize, that kind of thing. Seeing someone live their dreams, aha, there you go. Somebody else is living their dreams. Somebody is doing what you cannot do. You surrendered. You surrendered in terms, and your surrender manifested itself in terms of supporting a person who, quite frankly, you are too scared to challenge on any scale. You're too scared to challenge him on the vasectomy, you don't have one. You're too scared to challenge him on education. Degree, you didn't get it, you dropped out. Money, you don't have no savings. So you're scared to challenge people on any scale. And they'll bring one metric and say, I'm a celebrity. And I'll crush you and say, I'm richer than you. Well, I'm a celebrity. Well, I got a vasectomy. Well, I'm a celebrity. Come on, man. You're too down and you're going to repeat the same point. I'll give you a third point. I have 3 points and you only have one. There you go. I win 3-0. Right? Seeing someone live their dreams can spark motivation and ambition within us. It can make us believe in our own potential and encourage us to work towards our own goals. You know, you should just take that person out. See them as a target and an enemy and target them. You already know everything about them. You already know enough to destroy them. Use it. Maybe it's a celebrity fitness routine that inspires you to take care of your health, or their philanthropic actions that stir a desire to make a difference. You know, let me finish this point. This is one aspect of celebrity obsession that can actually be quite beneficial. As long as we remember celebrities are humans too, I can't forget, with their own set of flaws, so many flaws and struggles. And it's okay to not have everything figured out just like them. I just want to go back to this part here where it says maybe it's a celebrity's fitness routine that inspires you to take care of your health. I'm going to be honest with you. When I'm exercising and training and running, I don't want anybody being better than me physically. Like, so I know I might not be the most muscular guy, but I'll be thinner than you. By the time this whole 10K thing is done, your muscularness, your muscularity, I will just call you fat. I'll just do that. Like, I don't care what celebrity status you have. If you are 1 kilogram bigger than me, I'm calling you fat. Or weigh 1 more kilogram more than me. If you are one trouser size more than me. If you're going to be a celebrity, you have to be in peak condition. Peak condition. Because there are people like me running 10 kilometers every day. And the last thing I'm going to let you do is you with no exercise routine, you smoking drugs, drinking alcohol, and then mock me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You can bring your celebrity and your fame, and I'll just call you fat and shut that whole thing down. If you're going to put yourself out there as a celebrity, just know there's somebody running 10 kilometers a day. And he's not doing it for his own health. He's doing it so he can look better than you. So as soon as you open your big mouth, I'll just call you fat. I'll tell you, you're a millionaire, you can't afford a personal trainer. You're a millionaire, you can't afford to eat healthy. Look how fat you are. And you could be in magnificent shape. You could be in magnificent shape. But don't you dare weigh 1 kilogram more than me. Oh, you don't want that. You don't want to weigh 1 kilogram more than me. I will call you fat forever. And you will be stick thin. Right? I'm a narcissist. You think I won't take a 1 kilogram advantage? You think I'm the kind of guy who's gonna wait to take an advantage when I see one? I got a vasectomy. Like 1 kilogram is the least of my concerns in terms of advantages. I took an entire biological advantage. I'm not the kind of guy to wait around. Number 6, easily influenced by social media. Social media has a very peculiar thing about it. Like, you know it's fake, and it's like you appreciate the fakeness. And then you compete with the fakeness. It's like who can have the more fakest fake. Think about that time you found yourself scrolling through a celebrity's Instagram feed for hours. Hours? No, no. I mean, how many times can you look at the same face? Maybe you were intrigued by their luxurious lifestyle, or perhaps you were curious about their day to day routine. No, no, I'm not. Such is the power of social media in fueling celebrity obsession. With platforms like Instagram and Twitter, along with YouTube, which is where we are, right? This is our home. Um, where am I? Celebrities are now more accessible than ever before, or at least they can be more famous than ever before, or comparable. There's nothing I used to love more. I had Instagram back in the day, not this last Instagram, no, not that one either. Those two got banned. The one before, the one that didn't get banned, the one that I canceled. I encountered an American celebrity, and he was one of those, those ones that like to have like chat wars, like they'll chat with someone like a fan, and they'll argue with the fan, and it'll be on another platform. Or Ancient One is arguing with fans about reversing vasectomies, whatever. One of those people. He was in every one of his comments, chatting, liking, responding, as I do, but in a different dynamic. He had a whole trip of himself. I think he went to like Spain or something, right? And it was in my feed, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder where this individual is. And he was in Spain. And I sent a message, and I called him an amateur, right? He's a very famous person, and I called him an amateur. And he just didn't respond to me. Right? And I just put one word. I said, huh, amateur. And he just didn't respond. Like, this is a person who disses people, for a living, beef wars, whatever they call these meat battles, right? They in and out of these things. This is a guy who prides himself in calling himself a professional entertainer, a professional this, with street kids, 20 years of industry experience. And nobody called him a professional. And nobody called him an amateur, and he didn't respond. But what I do know was he went onto my real profile, and he must have been flabbergasted. He must have just been shocked, looking at one country after another country after another country after another country after another country. There's me with a plane. There's me with another plane. There's me with another plane. There's me with a boat. There's me on a boat. There's me next to a boat. There's me walking away from the boat. There's me walking to the boat. There's me getting on the boat. There's me getting off the boat. There's me in the boat, right? Um, you know, People look at that and they're like, man, this is wonderful. This guy's killing it. He's doing the thing, right? And you make yourself accessible to people as a celebrity who are just as good as you, who are better than you, and who are worse than you. It's just there's so many more people down there. And the people at the top, when they call you out, not a word, not a word. If you had called him out, he would have told you about where you live and what kind of bed you sleep on and what kind of car you drive. I didn't. He didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. Man, I had to shut that account down. That account had to go. Um, it says, while this can be, I believe I'm here. You know what? I'm just going to go and say these platforms allow us to get a glimpse into their lives, making us feel closer to them. The constant updates and behind the scenes content can make it seem like we are part of their journey. While this can be entertaining, social media often represents a carefully curated version of reality. Oh yes, nobody curated their reality like I did. I only took pictures of myself when I was overseas. Right? So like you wouldn't be able to see which country I'm from, you know, or which country I was going to, right? You could only tell which country I took pictures in and which countries I didn't. And there were countries where I went and had like a layover for hours and didn't take no pictures or anything. You know, really missed opportunities. Really some missed opportunities. But, the account is gone, so what's the point of the opportunity now? I read that one about the constant updates, right, and the entertainment. Comparing our lives to what we see on these platforms can lead to unnecessary pressure and unrealistic expectations. Depends on the life, right? It depends on the life. If you prioritize the bachelor life and you're traveling and living the dream, you happily compare that life with anybody. And like I haven't had that social media account open. And since I've had that account closed, I've lost a tremendous amount of weight. I've made more money and I've traveled more. Part of me just feels like reopening that account just to rub it into people's faces. But no, I got a new dynamic for them. I'm going to hit them in a way that they're not expecting. They're expecting to be my competitors. I swear I'm going to turn you all into customers. Everyone that wants to compete with me, oh, you're going to be a customer. Or you're going to be a customer, you won't even know it. And it's going to be like, you'll have no choice but to buy the product, right? Number seven, neglecting personal life. This is very serious. When you are living an obsessive thing, you neglect yourself. Now, I can't do that. Why would I neglect myself? You guys really need to get a firm grasp of narcissism. Why would you want to neglect yourself, your needs, just so you can live somebody else's delusion? No, 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 no. Even your own delusions. It's like narcissism, people, is so extreme. Like if you find a true narcissist would never be satisfied with living the dream. They would just manipulate the hell out of reality and make that dream into part of that reality. I could not live a delusion. I could not live a delusion. I would rather work myself to the bone and make the reality of the dream a reality. But I couldn't live with myself, knowing that I'm lying to myself about living the dream. When what I really want is the dream. I want the dream to be real. I want what I want, right? I don't want a dream of the dream, an imagination of the dream, a picture of the dream. No, I want the dream, the real thing. And I'm willing to do enough, not all the way, not everything, but I'm willing to do what it takes. Just enough, not too much, not trying to kill myself. But as for neglecting myself for a delusion, a figment of my imagination to forego the real thing for a copy, not even a real copy, a imagination of a copy. No, 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 no. I want the real deal. I'm happy to be me all the way. Being a fan is one thing, but when the obsession with celebrity starts to interfere with your personal life, it's time to take a step back. If you're spending countless hours tracking celebrity news, neglecting your responsibilities, or isolating yourself from friends and family to remain in the celebrity world. They should have put inverted commas there. It's a red flag. I agree. I agree. And for all these counterparts that are obsessed with celebrities, yeah, you guys are a complete red flag. Like being obsessed with celebrities, and that's like every counterpart. They don't just love a celebrity, they love every celebrity, right? They want to know everything about every celebrity all the time, right? Because they feel like they're part of that world, right? And some of them might be. Life is not about living in someone else's shadow or trying to emulate someone else's journey. You are absolutely right about that. I'm not living in anybody's shadow. No way, no way, no way. You think I'm gonna get a vasectomy just so I can listen to some guy with money tell me what to do? Just because you got money, hey man, I got a job. I got a job. I'll go get my own money. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to live my life. And I don't spend no money on me just so you can make me do what you want to do. No, don't control me. No, 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 no. Not after my vasectomy. I would rather get my vasectomy and be alone living in the street, in the gutter. Not exactly, but I'm just trying to make a point. I'm not going to live in the gutter. I rather stand on my own 2 feet and fail on my own merit than to have some guy with no vasectomy tell me what to do. You bent the knee. You bent the knee. You bent the knee. You bent the knee and you made a lot of money, but you still bent the knee. Whatever advice you're gonna give me is gonna lead me to bend the knee. I'm not doing that. I got a vasectomy. I don't care. I really don't care. I feel like I'm completely disconnected to humanity. Your heroes mean absolutely nothing to me. They all bent the knee. They all bent the knee and they cowered down to accommodate the egos of losers. You look at every single celebrity, look at who they are married to. Losers. Women married to losers. Men married to losers. All the men are married to just the most colossal losers. Just parasites. Just parasites. And this man bent the knee to a parasite. And I'm supposed to be taking orders from that guy. You don't even have the foresight to go get a vasectomy. You think you can tell me what to do? You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. I wouldn't even. Living in somebody else's shadow. I'm going to get a vasectomy and then live in another man's shadow. I think not. I think absolutely not. Get a vasectomy, you'll see for yourself. You go get a vasectomy and then go find out what that rapper actually means to you. You realize these people mean nothing to you. The reason you care so much about these people is because if you have kids, you want them to have somebody to look up to. Somebody great, somebody admirable. But if you're not having kids, you think you're going to let some 20-year-old kid with a hit record tell me what to do? I will slam the door in your face and call your mother. I'm going to call your mother and tell her you're acting like a fool. It's about creating your own path, 110%. One path, my path. Building meaningful relationships, moving right along, could care less about that. And growing as an individual, that's what I'm talking about. Growing as an individual, growing myself, not you. Celebrities can be a source of entertainment or inspiration. Entertainment, agreed. I'm not gonna lie, some of you people are really funny. No, most of you aren't. But some of you can be very funny, very entertaining, very good to watch in terms of sports, right? And we can enjoy that. But if you honestly believe that a touchdown is more inspirational than a vasectomy, I accept that challenge. I would happily take the highest scoring NBA player and compare all of his points, all the points. You know who I'm talking about, the king of this and that. I will take the king, all the king's point, and compare them to my vasectomy. So there, we've already compared a vasectomy to $1 billion, the vasectomy one. And if you think I'm wrong, that $1,550 that you're going to spend on a vasectomy is worth $1 billion, you just haven't got a vasectomy yet. Get it and you'll know. Do I sound like I care? Do I sound like I would give up my vasectomy for $1 billion? Do I sound like I would give up my vasectomy for an NBA ring or the World Cup? No way. I feel like I've already won. I feel victorious. I feel triumphant. So triumphant that I will compare my vasectomy to God's plan. Forget your $1 billion. I compared the divinity of a vasectomy to God's plan, and I say the vasectomy trumped God's plan. Who the hell do you think you are? I defied God's plan and succeeded in taking control from God and giving it to myself in my own life. You think I'm going to give it to another man? Honestly, do I sound like the kind of person who's about to give authority over to another man just because you have money? Listen, you want to talk about money? Let's draw up a contract. Tell me what my responsibilities are and tell me what my cut is. But I'm not letting money financial decisions be determined by your mood. You type it down, you write it down, and I'll have the lawyers look at it. And then I'll let you know my decision. Stay on the line, I'll let you know when I'm done. Celebrities, here we are, entertainment. Celebrities can be a source of entertainment and inspiration. Entertainment, yes. Inspiration, no. But they should never become the center of your universe, my universe. The center of my universe? No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I cannot believe that this is the advice they are giving me. Me. To please, ancient one, don't make another person the center of your universe. Done. Consider it done. I guarantee you that outcome. And thank you for that advice. I appreciate it, right? So, I will not be making celebrities the center of my universe. Do you know who I'll be making the center of my universe? I'm going to give you two choices, me or myself. I goes without saying. The key, prioritize your own life and needs. I agree. I agree. I'm not even going to add anything more to that other than to say, I agree. Make sure you're dedicating time and energy to nurturing your own dreams. Oh, poetry. Poetry. Relationships, and then she ruins the poem, and well being. Man, you people love these relationships. It's like, you could have a whole brilliant paragraph about just, hanging in there, being by yourself, doing the right thing, standing on your own 2 feet. And then they always go back to then you'll get a relationship. This is that male sphere advice. Right? Get your muscles, get your money, get your mental health, and then get yourself a woman. No, 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 no. Didn't you just come back from a breakup where you lost your money, where you were depressed, where you got fat, and now you're out of the relationship? Now your money's back, you lost all the weight, and you're happy again, and now you want to go and date. What? What? It's always about dating with these people. It always comes down to relationships, doesn't it? Can't you just live by yourself, be happy? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you people that you can't just live your own life? What is so messed up about being you that you have to go look to others to make you complete? You got 10 fingers, you got 10 toes. What more do you need? You need a celebrity. Understanding the line between admiration and obsession. At the end of the day, it's essential to understand the difference between admiration and obsession. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of a celebrity. You see, there they go again. There they go again, telling you, worship these people, be a fan, be a fan, be a fan. No. Compete, compete, compete. Take them out. You're the best. You're the one. You should be above them. You should be better than them. You should be richer than them. These people are not your friends. These people are not your friends. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is ask them, Would you give up your celebrity to be my friend? They'll tell you absolutely not. Not only that, they'll have you arrested or beaten up by their security. This is the worst part of it. You ever seen somebody be so obsessed with a celebrity? You just love the guy so much. You just want to be there. And then you go over and his security beats you into the ground. Just letting you know where you stand. Now you're not a fan no more. Now you're not a fan anymore. Right? When you should listen to the ancient one. Stop being a fan of these people. Look at him like your competition. Yes, he's a powerful competitor. That means you just need a better plan and more resources. But you start looking at him as a fan, it's only a matter of time before his security beats you into the ground. Right? So stop this being a fan of celebrity and appreciating their work. Maybe the work, but the fan, no. Or even getting inspired by their lifestyle. Man, be careful about these people's lifestyles. These people are addicts and they're ridiculous. All their money goes to lawyers. But when this admiration turns into an obsession, can't you just be obsessed with yourself? Be a narcissist. It can have negative impacts on your mental health and your personality. There you go with the mental health. Not to mention your money. Celebrities are human beings just like us, I agree. Well, not like us, like you. I'm a vasectomite. I'm not a human being anymore. I mean, really, I can't even have kids the way you people have kids. You know what I mean? So, I'm completely out. But yeah, celebrities are human beings just like you, and with their own set of challenges and flaws. Their lives are not perfect, not even close, but the money seems right. I'll take the money, man. I'll take the money over the fame. Despite what the glamorous photos and carefully curated social media feeds might suggest, in essence, find inspiration in them, but don't lose yourself in the process. This is not helpful. This is not helpful. After all of that, the conclusion is find inspiration in celebrities. Isn't that what started the problem? Find inspiration in yourself. That is the solution to the problem. Don't don't put anyone above you. Self before society. Self before society. You have to put yourself above these people. The next time you encounter a celebrity, I want you to compete. Don't be aggressive. Don't attack them. You're going to get yourself beaten into the ground. But when next time you see a celebrity, I want you to go out of your way to demonstrate your significance. Demonstrate your significance. Don't go up to them. Don't go shake their hand. Don't take photos. This is your competition. These people are not your friends. They are your competition. They would sooner take you out. They would sooner have you beaten into the ground than give you a hug and a selfie. They would much prefer to beat you into the ground than give you a hug and a selfie. I assure you. And they wouldn't even do it because they don't like you. They just do it as an example to show other people who are obsessed. You try this, this is what's going to happen to you. They'll use you as a throwaway example. These people are not your friends. They are competitors. And it became that way when they got into all the girls' DMs. You were never competing with these guys until they made themselves available on social media. They put themselves in the game. The same game, same platform, making the same moves on the same women as you. Right? And it's only a matter of time before you find the right strategy to defeat them. It's only a matter of time before you find the right tactic, the right strategy to defeat them. So whether they got more money, more famous, more fame, more status, whatever, you can find a tactic to defeat them. So while he's here in the country, making money, running a business, you know that you can travel the entire world. You can fill up 5 passports in no time at all. Right? You could fill up 5 passports in no time at all. And If he tried to do that, if a celebrity tried to leave his fame, just think about it like this, right? If a Nigerian celebrity went to Singapore, nobody would know who he was, right? So why go to Nigeria to compete with him? Take him to Singapore and crush him. Simple as that, right? If an Egyptian celebrity traveled to Mongolia and tried to do that in Arabic where they speak Mongolian, I don't know what language they speak in Mongolia, right? Nobody would even care. He would be, he'd mean absolutely nothing. So why fight him in Egypt where he's got a fan base? Take him to Mongolia and crush him. Just that simple, right? Take him to a place where you've been a few times. So let's say you've been to Vietnam 6 or 7 times, and you know the culture a little bit, you know a little bit of the language, you know how to say good morning or good afternoon, you know how to say thank you, you know how to say, can I please call my lawyer, right? You can use that. Like most celebrities cannot leave their country, right? They cannot leave their country. When they do, they can only travel to other places. That's why you find like certain celebrities will go to Europe and to Paris all the time. They won't hit Asia. They get to Asia, nobody cares who they are. They're just another rich foreigner, right? But in Europe, they could be recognizable. So they could get some clout along with that, right? But they will go to a place where they know will work for them. You would be remiss going to Europe and trying to compete with them there. No, 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 no. You know, take them to South Sudan. Take them to South Sudan and compete with them there and then demolish them. But don't go into a celebrity zone and try to battle celebrities. Stop going to places where there are celebrities completely. Do not go to places where people are more famous, more important than you. Only go to places where you are important. I don't care how boring those places are, especially for a date. You cannot be taking your counterpart out to a place where men are richer than you, have more power than you, have more influence than you, and ask your counterpart to act like you're important. You can't ask them to do that. Take her to a place where you are important and she'll treat you important. But you guys keep going out of your way to take a woman to a place where there are celebrities so the celebrities can give you approval, so the woman can give you approval. That is gonna fail. The celebrity is gonna take your girl. And he's right. Because you should have been smarter than to bring her there. You should have been smarter than to bring her near that man. And if you think you're being insecure to take your girl to that man, yeah, you should be. Your instinct is telling you you're doing the wrong thing. And instead of listening to your instinct, you're listening to a counterpart whose interest is to be in front of that man, behind your back, while you support him and look for his approval and admiration. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And a narcissist would never allow themselves to be in that situation. Not for a single moment. Not for a single moment. When I describe that page of mine that crushed so many hearts, and it still does, I'll turn it back on and destroy you people. But when I describe that page, I'm the only celebrity there. It's just me. It's all about me, making me look good, making me look the best. Me at a Dubai beach, me at a Thai beach, me at a Vietnam resort, me in Bali, me over here, me over there, me everywhere where celebrities are not. You have a choice, my friend. You can go to the Philippines with me, or you can stay there where you are and be a star. Because when I'm going to the Philippines, I've got world international travel. I'm going to feel right at home. You're going to try and be a star to people who don't even know who you are. Be strategic, be tactful. Don't fight places where you have no advantage. Don't find yourself in places where you have no advantage. Even if you have to move to the other side of the world to win that war, do it. Do it. Crush them. But don't let anybody for a single moment act better than you. There's a celebrity there you know dropped out of university, man. You gotta bring that up first. You gotta say, oh, you've got such great musical skills. Where did you graduate from? You gotta hit them right there. You know, a lot of these celebrities didn't even finish high school. You say, man, you've got great linguistic skills. You're such a great orator. Where did you study literature from? And he's gonna tell you, nah, man, I dropped out in high school. And I'm like, wait. I'm taking orders from a high school dropout? You're taking orders from a high school dropout. A guy who couldn't even read and write at a grade 10 level. Grade 10, his teachers told him he was incompetent. And the only thing he could do was rap. And let me tell you something about rapping. It's the easiest, simplest thing you could do. It's so easy, even a child could do it, and they do. And they sell millions of records. Now, I know you're saying, well, Ancient One, if it's so easy, why don't you do it? I'm not a rapper. I'm the Bachelor Supreme. And I'm here telling you to freeze your sperm and get a vasectomy. And what are you telling me to do? Make nursery rhymes. Make nursery rhymes. And again, I made my decision in life, right? And I will happily take my degree and compare the outcome that I'm going to have with my degree at 50, 60, 70, 80 years old with the outcome that you're going to have with your lyrics and your rap songs. I'll take that chance. I'll take that chance. There's a guy who sold his whole music catalog for 120 million, an amount of money that I'll never see for music. Right? And I'm gonna say, hey, he made 120 million bucks. That being said, he's only 29 years old. And that's the last money he'll ever see. Because nobody's gonna go sing and dance on stage with a 60-year-old rapper. And unless you plan on going back to university at 35 and graduate at 39 and 40, I don't know how you're gonna pull this off. You're gonna sing pop songs to teenagers at 40 years old? I don't think that's gonna work. I really don't think that's gonna work. But if you can pull it off, I hope you do. I hope you do. But I'm willing to bet. And I didn't even put it on the vasectomy, because a vasectomy will crush you right away. But in terms of professional investments, I'm happy to take that challenge. Win or lose, I'll take my chances. But if we're saying that we're going to use our voice to speak words, high caliber vocabulary words, diction of the highest order, and enunciate expressions in a particular way, if you want to compete with me in terms of crafting words and vocabulary, creating nuanced meaning, engaging the audience with storytelling, you want to take your grade 10 vocabulary and compare it with me and my degree? I accept that challenge. I accept that challenge. And let's see where our voices will take us. Let's see where our voices will take us. But what I will not do is get a vasectomy and then lower myself to any person. You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. You think I'm gonna get a vasectomy and then be a fangirl for one single second of my existence? No way. No way. You may never even see me in any arena where there's any celebrity ever again. And it's not because I'm scared, it's a strategic move. It's a strategic move. I'm only going to places where I'm special. Because I am special. I'm special. I'm more special than you. I got a vasectomy. What do you have? 3 baby mamas. I'm not listening to you, moron. I'm not listening to you. You got 3 baby mamas, and you do what? You rhyme thug with drug, and you want me with my vasectomy to listen to you? I'm not doing that. I'm the ancient one. I'm the bachelor supreme. I am the phantom menace, and I remain. And I remain. And this is the end of the video. And I'd like to thank you again for your time, your patience, your understanding, and for spending that time here with me. And I appreciate that very, very much. I'd also like you to please like. You know what? I have to do that outro again. I think I've been in here for like too long, just going on and on. Eventually, the program just kicked me out. I didn't even know it had a time limit until I went over it. But anyway, let's do it right. Let's do it one more time. Please like this video if you've enjoyed the content to demonstrate your approval. Please share this content with anyone that you think is going to enjoy it and benefit from it. And please leave a comment to remain as part of the conversation, and I will respond to as many of your comments as I can. You know what? I like that outro so much. I'm going to do it one more time. It goes, please like the video to demonstrate your approval. Also, please share it with anyone that you think will like and appreciate and benefit from this information. And lastly, please leave a comment to remain part of the conversation, and I will respond to as many comments as I possibly can. Nailed it. Thank you for your time and have a lovely day, everyone. I really appreciate it.